good to see you guys. Facebook. It is Kirsten Liebelt. Jump on in. Today is Thursday, and we are going to talk about insulin resistance again, but we're going to be very specific today in talking about visceral belly fat. You have no idea how many of, well, maybe you do, because maybe you're one of them. The answers that I get in my DMs, belly fat, belly fat, belly fat, belly fat, like this is, and I want to erase confusion. I want to bring clarity to the conversation, but then I want to be able to help you figure out okay, really, can we actually make a difference in our body composition? Can we actually make a difference in losing belly fat? Well, let's talk about how it gets there, and then we can reverse engineer how to get rid of it, right? Not too confusing, actually. So I want to give you hope today. All right. So today at 3:00, this is housekeeping, 3:00 Central Standard Time in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. There's over 5,000 of us in there now. 5,000, it might be 5,200. And we will do our day 4 of the 5-day reset challenge. Okay. So every single month, this is our 21st one. Get excited that somebody has a track for you to run on. Get excited that there is actually a blueprint of transformation for anybody who is insulin resistant, who is battling. Maybe you're battling high sugars. Maybe you're battling exhaustion. Maybe you're battling belly fat. Maybe you're you want to get off of scripts because you're just really tired of the side effects. Some of them have bathroom side effects and things like that. Okay. I am not a doctor. I'm an Italian girl who figured things out. And the reason why I tell you that is because my whole life was surrounded by type 2 diabetes, being Italian. And my dad died when I was only 30. He was 63. He was so young, you guys. And diabetes type 2 just took him down and out. Down and out. And the path that he was on is the opposite path that I teach. Go figure. He went on a path that followed advice from the Matrix, and he had a lazy Susan full of medication when he passed away. And I just remember tucking it into the back of my head. Why is he dead? If he had all that medicine, wasn't that medicine supposed to help him? And then I tucked that away, and then I did nothing about my own insulin resistance. Because wisdom, come on, I'm so wise. I did nothing until a long time after that. I had been gestational with my first baby. A lot of you reach out to me and go, oh my gosh, I was gestational too. I wasn't making the connection either. Gestational with my first baby, 22 years old-ish. 30, my dad dies, and I don't do anything until my upper 40s, 25 years later. Balloons on Instagram. So get your hopes up. Get your hopes up. Be encouraged today. Don't let today pass without you hearing that this is turnaroundable, that this can be fixed. It's reversible. You just have to understand maybe a couple things. It's just a couple things. I teach 2 things: targeted supplementation and ingredient trade-outs. And that's a big victory for me. Big victory arms for me, because I never thought I would trade out my food. So, all right. Good morning, Magda. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Phyllis. OMG. Everybody's in the house today. This is very exciting. Very exciting. And if you're on TikTok, if you're on in the balcony, sitting in the balcony, I do that a lot too. So I understand it. Sometimes I just don't realize that I'm watching from the balcony. Jump on in every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday or I'm traveling. We are doing this conversation about insulin resistance. I'm very passionate. I'm very opinionated. If you've been looking for alternatives, if you just needed somebody to tell you that you can fix these things and not live this way, then you're in the right place at the right time. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I think we're good to go. So let's talk about the belly fat. Major conversation, and I have very specific answers for you. I know that even on TikTok, I said, look for the little fire emoji on my site, and I'm going to tell you why. I've been using targeted supplementation now just for a little over 10 years. I was not a supplementer. I was never interested in filling my cupboard it was not me. It just wasn't. You could have opened up my cupboard. You would have never seen bottles of supplements. you would have seen ibuprofen and Tylenol. And in my 30s, you would have seen Metabolife, which was banned because of the ephedra. I was never a supplementer. I had no goal for that. I had no interest in it, nothing. So the only way that I was going to start caring about doing anything for my own insulin resistance was if it was going to be targeted, like pulling back an arrow and hitting a target. I am the same way today about everything. It's just my personality. I'm a person who looks for function. Function is my love language. So if you can tell me why it's going to benefit me, I think that's why I speak from that position. If you can get me to understand why it's going to benefit me, then I will do it. Okay. So it's the same thing with insulin resistance and then belly fat. So, in my 50s, using targeted supplementation, which I'm not actually talking about today, in depth, I started with this trio, 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Like this is where I started, fully supported me in losing. You guys listen up. 3 sizes in my 50s. After my cycle stopped, you have to understand this connection, and I'm going to explain it to you in just in a second why it does. Last August, we launched it's a thermogenic extract that is a clinical dose that listen, I've been doing this for a long time. Why was I skeptical? I don't know. I thought maybe it was only going to be for the people who were really working out because whatever. We have all these stupid limiting beliefs. I didn't even measure myself, you guys. Should have measured myself. And so what I did though was I went on for 90 days. I took a month off because you don't want your body to get used to a thermogenic because you want it to work again like it's a brand new. Took 30 days off and now I'm on round 2. And you guys, at the time, I didn't even talk to you guys about it. I took 60 days to test it on somebody's blood sugars, to test it on myself. I didn't even bring it up to you guys. And then when I did, I'm like, I'm trying so hard not to overhype. I'm trying really hard, and I'm not kidding you, okay? This is not magic hands. It's not jazz hands. It's not a magic. I'm just telling you, the science behind it is actually working. So I'm going to give you a couple of testimonies. I'm going to tell you why this is working and what we can do about your belly fat. Like if you have a 90-day thought process because spring is coming, I'm in Minnesota. I mean, like when spring and summer come, you actually want to have had you want to have taken ground. Let me put it that way. So I'm going to read you a couple testimonies and then we're going to dive into the science behind this. Okay. So hang on. From October 15th to November 11th. So less than 30 days. She said, I have lost 1 inch off of my hips, my bust, my waist, my ribs. On November 16th, I received this message. Lost 15 pounds since August. One other one, 30 days, 1 inch in multiple areas. I'm sold. And another one, narrowing in my hips and belly. That's me because I didn't measure. That wasn't me. This is somebody else, but that's my story. I didn't measure, so I couldn't tell you the inches, but the narrowing in my hips right here and my belly, I'm like, I honestly didn't think that was I just turned 60 last week. I thought my hips are my hips now forever. They're set in place. They're set in stone. I am starting to take pictures. So I will get that put together in a compilation for you guys. And then the best one I'm saving for last. And what she did was she took 90 days and she went bam, 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 1 little pixie stick every single day. And she lost 3.5 inches right from her bra line. I had been saying, I apologize. I had been saying 2.5 inches off of her waist. It's 2. I just looked back at it today. So I want to make sure my numbers are right. 2 inches off of her waist, not 2.5, and 1 inch off of her hips. Okay. Now, why? Why does this work? Why does insulin resistance create belly fat? Why does it block us from losing belly fat? Why is this the biggest frustration in my inbox? I'm sure that it's you. You don't even have to tell me that it's you. Brenda, good to see you. Very good to see you. You don't even have to tell me that it's you. You can. You can tell me in the comments if it's you, that belly fat is your biggest issue. Now, this is what most people do not know. They just don't know. Here's some information for you. long before it shows up in your sugars, your insulin has been rising, trying to take care of your sugar and transport it into your cell. But when you overload the whole sugar conversation with, could be oatmeal, it could be Subway sandwiches, it could be just grain, Snicker bars, Frappuccinos, it doesn't matter what it is. You just keep on spiking, your body gets overloaded. And after a while, your cell says no more. Okay? But this is what you didn't know. Number one, your insulin, long before it showed up in your sugars, has been rising behind the scene. And it's creating your belly fat because it's a fat storing hormone. Then it's also blocking you from losing it. So if you have high insulin in your body, you will not burn fat, period. The end. It's scientific. Okay? That's why you and I, we change our lens. If we know we're insulin resistant, and if you're on my content, you probably are, or you think you are. If you're insulin resistant, every other conversation doesn't include you. Every other program that's not created for insulin resistant people isn't for you. You might lose weight partially in the beginning, especially if you're going to more whole foods. But if you keep that insulin high, I was rewarding myself with sweet potatoes. Who thinks that's a good idea? Right? Now, your second conversation is your liver. This is how we're going to go right into this visceral fat conversation on belly fat. Your liver helps to govern your blood glucose, and it helps to balance your hormones. Insulin is a hormone. Cortisol is a hormone. GLP-1 is a hormone. Are you tracking? So if your liver is like, oh, I'm tired and I'm toxic and I can't function, you're not burning fat. So now you have two things against you: high insulin and a liver that's not functioning, probably fatty liver. Probably. And you do not have to be overweight to be insulin resistant. You do not have to be overweight. I talk to a lot of you that are not overweight, but you know you have visceral fat underneath the fat that you can pinch. You know you have to deal with that. Okay? So I have different conversations with different people according to your needs. Biggest issue. Yep, I know. So let me give you practical understanding and then practical answers as to how you can deal with this. The launch of this extract has been the biggest game changer for body composition that I have personally seen in 10 years. For myself and because I've been doing this a half a minute, right? So this is literally the game changer. If you wanted to try something with a 6-month guarantee to get ready for spring or summer, this is what I'm bringing it to you solely today as much as possible. Usually I don't do this. I don't focus on this particular product, but I am today because I have been overwhelmed in the last 7 days with belly fat in my messages. And so this is why, as I look to see what you guys' biggest issue is, well, you've told me. So let's go. Let's deal with this, okay? All right, hold on. I'm going to find my information here on visceral belly fat. Here we go. So this is the deal. Visceral belly fat is producing its own hormone. So when you have visceral belly fat, this is underneath the fat that you can pinch. Okay, so this is the fat that builds up in your liver. It builds up around your organs, and it's dangerous. And I'm going to tell you why. So visceral fat produces its own hormones. It's actually active fat, but not active in a good way. That's why you got to get it out of your body. You've got to get it, you got to burn it from inside. Okay. I know you want to just fit into a different size jean. I get it, right? We want to be able to stop laying down to zip up our jeans. We want to figure out how to get rid of that protruding belly because it's so frustrating in every outfit, right? But the truth is that let's go from a scientific and then we'll get to the yummy, right? So visceral fat isn't just stored energy. It's actually metabolically active, and it produces inflammatory hormones like TNF alpha and IL-6, which worsen your insulin resistance. It also releases excess, wait for it, it's releasing excess estrogen, which can contribute to hormone imbalances, especially in women. Okay? Did you know that your belly fat might be messing with your hormones? Did you know that? It's like visceral fat is more than just extra weight. It's a hormone factory that works against you. All right. Visceral fat actually, however, listen to this one, shrinks faster than subcutaneous fat when you do the right thing. So this is really good news. And this explains the testimonies of why in 90 days, she could lose 3.5 inches on her bra line, 2 inches on her waist, and 1 inch on her hips. Because actually that visceral active fat can get shrunk faster. Shrunk? Is that right? Did I say it right? It can shrink faster than that fat that's like, it's on your arms, it's on the inside of your knees, it's your like back fat, right? It can shrink faster than that. So when you're using like this pixie stick that I'm talking to you about, you're literally burning fat from the inside. It's like burning on the inside. And then that's why your outsides are going in, because it's like, because it's burning that visceral fat, because it'll shrink faster than the fat that you can squeeze. So many people think that belly fat is impossible to lose. Visceral fat responds faster to the right interventions. I want you guys just to have some encouragement and some hope. Tell me if that's exciting to you. I would love to know. Studies show that fasting and sometimes high intensity exercise, although I'm not really when you're over 50, a lot of times high intensity exercise can work against you because it can raise your cortisol. But things like actually, I think it's going to bring it on. So I don't want to say it right now because there are other things that they do. But those things can actually help decrease your visceral fat. But let's get into some other people. So fatty liver can happen even if you're not overweight. So does anybody have fatty liver? You've been diagnosed. You've been wondering about it. I was on a phone consultation yesterday with somebody about that conversation and needing to really deal with the liver for many different reasons. And I'll tell you, your liver is like, you need to love it and kiss it every single day. It is a fat metabolizing organ. And it's like your strong powerhouse organ. So when you have fatty liver, immediately take action against that immediately. Okay. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is skyrocketing, even in thin people. Thin outside, fat inside. Thin outside, fat inside. Have you heard that before? Who appear healthy but have high visceral fat. And remember, it's active. It's metabolically active and it's releasing hormones like estrogen. It's very, very active. Up to 40% of people with fatty liver don't even know they have it because they don't feel the symptoms until it's advanced. Okay. Your gut bacteria influence where you store your fat. Blood sugar spikes trigger visceral fat storage, even from healthy foods. So the more you're spiking your sugars, and this is why I teach grain-free, sugar-free, and so that you can stop spiking your sugars and calling on insulin, you can stop this cycle of insanity, right? Many people focus on calories, but big blood sugar swings cause the liver to turn sugar into fat, especially around the organs. Even healthy foods I'm not even going to repeat that because I don't agree that they're healthy. I'm going to just say this is why I'm grain-free. We have been duped to believe that certain things are healthy and they're not. And especially if you're insulin resistant, they're not. They're not helping you. Okay. This is interesting. This is the one I was going to bring up. So It is exciting, Patty. I know it is exciting. I know. I love it. I love it. Thanks for saying that. Cold exposure. So you know how people are doing cold plunges? It actually burns visceral fat. Now, I have not done a cold plunge. I'm not even committing to a cold plunge, but I understand the benefits of a cold plunge because studies show that cold showers, ice baths, or even turning down the thermostat can activate brown fat, which helps burn off visceral fat. Shivering for just 10 to 15 minutes can burn as much fat as an hour of moderate exercise. We should all go get like horse troughs, right? That is really wild. Your sleep is also affecting your visceral fat. And the fat that you have matters more than the amount. Today, we are exposing ourselves to so many foods that are creating visceral fat. We are exposing our bodies to so much frustration that we actually just think that we're stuck. And so if you think you're stuck, I'm going to tell you why you're not stuck, why you don't have to be stuck, okay? So hold on. Now I'm going to go back up here. All right. So the extract, the clinical dose extract that I talk about now all the time, it has benefits for your liver, particularly in context of fat metabolism and oxidative stress. So it's an extract that's really rich in like anthocyanins and flavonoids, et cetera, vitamin C, blah, blah, blah. It's all these anti-inflammatory, but it's helping your liver by reducing fat accumulation. So when you can actually shrink fat cells, when you can actually this is my visual on it because I don't have I'm not going to pretend that I speak in sciences or I understand sciences. So this is my brain, my layman brain. It feels so it is a thermogenic, and a thermogenic is something that heats up, right? So this is why when you go into a cold plunge and you are shivering for 10 to 15 minutes, it's literally like your body is trying to start a fire. Okay. So it's like lighting the fire to get you going. It's like, okay. And inside of that cell, it's like, but then of course you have many, 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 many cells in your fat, in your liver, around your organs. All of that visceral fat needs to be lit up with a fire. Start the match, right? That's what this is doing. It is literally the only explanation for my brain to understand the shrinking. It's crazy pants. Very scientifically studied. Most companies, anything that is a thermogenic, they've only studied it for 2 to 3 months for longevity of consistent results. They studied past a year. They went further. They went longer to see the benefits. And so the way that I understand from the expert that came in and talked to us about it, he said, go 90 days, take a 1 month, take a break, let your body reset and then do it again. And that's exactly what I've done. And I am getting the exact same results as I did before. The only difference is that this time I'm measuring. So like I said, I eventually started taking some pictures, etc. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Okay. So antioxidant protection, improved lipid metabolism, anti-inflammatory effects, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. So visceral fat is really your biggest deal. It's under your skin. It's that fat that's around your organs, and you've got to deal with that. It wraps around your liver, your pancreas, your intestines, and your heart. Is everybody hearing that? Liver, pancreas, intestines, and heart. It's hormonally active. It means it drives inflammation, insulin resistance, and disease. It's around your abdomen. It's your belly fat. It's your fatty liver disease. It's around your heart. It's around your pancreas. And when it's around your heart, it's increasing the risk of heart attacks and stroke. When it's around your pancreas, it's impairing insulin production, worsening your diabetes risk. Visceral fat is no joke, right? I mean, I tend to lean in towards, thank you, Carol. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I tend to lean in towards, I know, I entered my 50s as a 2X. And so I understand that feeling of, listen, I just want to be normal. I just want to be able to shop off the rack, or I just want to be able to feel good in my skin for pictures on vacation or whatever. So I really my heart goes towards that and I keep on leaning in on that piece of it. But the biggest piece of it for me internally is when I'm having conversations with you guys, it's like, and you tell me you have fatty liver. If I know that you are losing inches, but your fatty liver is benefiting, man, I go to bed at night feeling so good about myself because I know what it did to your insides. So Megda, who she's not on here, right? Oh, maybe you are. Yes, you are on here, Megda. So Megda, who lost all these inches, what makes me the most happy is that my friend Megda, the fat in her liver or around her pancreas or her heart, things that she didn't even know are benefiting. Okay. And what you don't know is that, nope, never mind. I mean, that's just amazing though, right? Like if you can have both, don't you want both? The outside shell looking better and the inside universe rising up and functioning at a higher level. Don't you want both? All right. Why visceral fat is harder to lose, but it's not impossible. Visceral fat responds more to hormonal changes than just calorie cutting. So you don't get rid of it by calories in, calories out. This is not that kind of fat. Okay. So that's not how you get rid of this. It's highly linked to insulin resistance, meaning blood sugar control is key to this. Fasting, targeted supplementation, right foods, all those good things, right? So when you start to do something that's super targeted, like pulling back an arrow and hitting a target, like we're talking about with this pixie stick here, I can open this one for you. I suppose I can. I already took mine for today. I shouldn't have done that. Reduce your visceral fat, especially around your belly. Improve your insulin sensitivity, which is key for losing stubborn fat. Reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in your liver. And support your cholesterol and triglyceride balance, which is major for your liver health. Now, when it comes to basic things, cut your sugar and processed carbs. Come on, you guys. This is not new news. We should not be shocked by that, right? You need to stabilize your insulin and stop your fat storage. Increase your protein and healthy fats. That's why the free protein guide, people are like, how in the world am I supposed to get my goal weight in grams of protein every day? Like that seems overwhelming. That's why I made the free protein guide. It's on my site, kirstenliebelt.com, because then it breaks it down. This is what 20 grams looks like. This is what 40 grams looks like. This is what 50 grams, whatever. And then you can decide how you want to make your day look with that. Okay. So for sure, over 100 grams of protein, but then you're probably going more towards your goal weight. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you, the older we get, the more important this is. This doesn't go down. Even in his, in John Klusterman's talk, he's an expert that came in December, he was talking only longevity. And he was saying protein should be going up, up, up as you age. More protein, more stabilize, like you want to maintain your lean muscle mass. You want to stabilize your blood sugars. You want to feel full and satiated and nourished. You want all of these things so that you can go do resistance training, so that you can have stability in your legs. Okay. I'm a really big conversation about protein. I don't get tired of that conversation. I know it's everywhere. Don't get tired of it. It's really important. Okay. Healthy fats. Do not be fat-free. Do not be fat-free. Don't do this. I'm convinced that it is one of the pieces of the puzzle as to why we have so much dementia. Now, I know dementia is insulin resistance of the brain, type 3. I get it. But that low fat, that's actually how we ended up insulin resistant all over the place, because they added sugar to everything. They took out the fat. So good fats, not bad fats, not seed oils. Throw away your margarine today. Get rid of it. It's terrible. Seed oils, get rid of them. Think olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, butter, lard, ghee. Go back to the real fats, okay? Because if you increase your protein and healthy fats, you support your metabolism. Supplements like this, I'll talk to you about this here in just a second. I'll show it to you. We've been talking about it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think so. And that is how you can literally make a difference. So remember now with this, that I'm going to show you. These are the testimonies that I have since I started talking about it in October. So it's only been a short period of time. I waited a good 60 days after it launched. I tested it on myself. I tested it on a customer who was testing her sugars because we definitely needed to, like, I couldn't recommend something that goes against my very conversation with you. Like, that's not going to happen. So less than a month, she lost by taking this. And this is what it looks like. It tastes literally like a pixie stick that you had as a kid. Did you ever walk to the corner store? I did. I live in Minnesota. We had a corner store. And at the time, that corner store had like wood, they weren't telephone poles, but they were posts that were sideways, right? That you could hitch up your horses to. I'm not that old, but I know it makes me sound old, but it was just a country suburb. It's now like major suburb of Minneapolis. But at the time it was very much cornfields and horse farms. And so you could ride your horse to the country store. It was called Little Red. And you could hitch up your horse, that you were just riding that day and go in and get yourself a soda and whatever. Well, they had those pixie sticks. Do you guys remember the pixie sticks in those plastic containers? Some of them were in the paper container if they were little, but then they started selling those big honking plastic ones that were tubes filled with the sugar. And, you would pay $0.25 for those or something like that crazy. And so it looks just like a pixie stick. And trust me, it tastes just like a freaking pixie stick. You almost don't even believe that this is what's happening. Like, that's why I was concerned. Anyway, so in less than a month, she lost, taking this once a day on your tongue. That's it. Once a day on your tongue. So you can taste it. Okay. 1 inch on her hips, bust, waist, and ribs. Less than 30 days, 4 days, less than 30 days. So you know what I mean? 26 days. In November, I get a message that says she's lost 15 pounds since August. She actually started it when it launched. Somebody else said in 30 days, she lost 1 inch in multiple areas. You guys, this is just like a scientific conversation. This is not jazz hands. Ooh, magic potion. It just happens to be that in 2025, we've isolated a few things. And I love Magda's where she's saying that, there's somebody else talking about the narrowing in their hip and their belly. And I'll tell you, that's been my experience because I didn't measure. My experience matches that. I just all of a sudden had narrowing in my hips and my belly. And I turned to my husband. It was about 2 weeks in and I went, "Are you noticing anything?" And he's like, "I am." I'm like, "Okay. Huh." And then I would go to my business meeting and I would talk to other people on my business team and I go, "So are you taking the pixie stick? What do you think?" "Yeah, like this is doing." And I'm like, "Okay, I can't overhype this. I held it inside for a long time. 3.5 inches off of her bra line. This is in 90 days now, 90 days of taking this once a day on her tongue. Okay. 3.5 inches here, 2 inches here, 1 inch here on hips. And I'm just going to tell you, that is obviously very enjoyable. We get excited about that because we know we will look better in our clothes and we will look better in our swimsuit for summer. And we feel like we're moving forward. And there is nothing bad about that. And I have somebody who not only is she taking this, but she is doing she's kind of doing everything. So I want to be transparent about that because I'm going to give you her stats and you're going to be like, whoa. So she's doing this. She started on the gut primer. Almost dropped it. On the gut primer and the probiotic. Okay. So she's doing that every day. And she is taking the trio, which are the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity. So she's doing a full system thought process. However, 74 years old, she'll be 75 March 1st. Since August 28th, she has lost 45 pounds. So don't think you're too old. Don't buy into this. Your body is just going to go south. No matter what you do, you're just going to go south. You have probably never, ever thought that you should change the lens that you've been viewing your weight loss through. You've spent decades looking at it through the lens of calorie counting and point counting and prepackaged program paying attention to. Nobody has probably ever told you to look at it through the lens of insulin resistance, because if your insulin is high, you're not burning fat. And if your liver is tired and toxic, you're not burning fat. And nobody told you that, because that is not the information they're giving us. They don't even test our insulin. They wait. Nope, honey, your labs are good. Nope, your labs are good. You're good. You're good to go. And then one day you wake up and you go to a doctor's appointment and they go, OMG, you're pre-diabetic. This is ridiculous. This is where I start to get super ticked off. This is criminal. Then they throw you on scripts. You're still gaining, all along you've been gaining belly fat. All along you've been like, what is happening to my belly? And they're like, oh, we don't know. You're just getting older. Like, this is BS capitalized. So then what they do is they throw you on MET. They throw you on HBP med, because definitely that insulin resistance was creating high BP. Absolutely. It's the core of everything. Now they've got you on an STATIN because your triglycerides are up, which was another flag. You had all these flags and they just kept, here's a Band-Aid, here's a Band-Aid, because it's making us money, because it's all about profit. We're just going to give you a Band-Aid. And then, oh, now you can't lose weight because insulin is a fat storing hormone and your liver is a fat metabolizing organ. And now both of them are messed up. And so you can't lose a pound to freaking save your life. We have an injection for that. It's only going to cost you $1,200 a month. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then they create shortages and they create urgency. Stop. So I already know my people. I know my people are just like me. And they're like, yeah, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. Or you're turning back around. I'm done with that. Either one. But for me, I was like, my dad had a Lazy Susan full of meds and it did him squat. And his function of life in his 50s, I just turned 60. So I know what 50s look like. In his 50s, south, dead, 63. I wasn't interested in being a duplication of him, because it stole all of his quality of life. It stole the Italian grandpa to my kids. It stole everything. BS. That's what I say. So I'm kind of like the person who's going to give you permission to advocate for yourself and to say, hey, you know what? What do I have to lose? If something has a 6-month guarantee and it's getting those kind of results, what do I have to lose? I can go 90 days. Let's see. If we are on February 5th, I think we are, March 5th, April 5th, May 5th, right at the beginning of spring, summer, in 90 days. Find out for yourself. Just find out for yourself. I know. Saying that you're getting older just encompasses everything. I found out I was diabetic 1.5 years ago. Meds given 2 months, you lost 75 pounds. Wow, that's amazing. Now you're working on restoring muscles back. I know. You eat veggies first. Yep. Then proteins, good fats. Yeah. You know what? That's the biggest conversation that I could have with somebody. Thank you so much, Penny. Hi, Penny. Good to see you. Thank you for liking, tapping. I so appreciate you. Brenda, tell me what you're saying. Are you talking about the orange pixie stick, Brenda? Let me know, because I will answer that for you. My biggest concern now that I have taken care of my mother who had dementia for 5 years, and then having that really stamped on me from the expert that came in December, and he said, your longevity is actually attached to how strong your legs are, how good your leg muscle is. And I'm like, yep. And do you want to know why? It's because when you fall and if you don't heal, the older you get, they stop surgeries. There's a certain point where having a surgery, it's not cleared out very well by your body. Your body can't handle it. You don't just have surgeries forever to fix things. So you have to take it upon yourself to make sure that you have strong legs. Yeah, ignite, Brenda. Ignite. It is a big deal if you are losing muscle mass. Okay, so even on something like this where you're losing inches like that so fast, there is a recommendation, and I'll tell you what the recommendation is. On my site, when you order the Ignite, look up the CLA, look up CLA product, because it helps you to maintain lean muscle while you're losing fat. Because there's a difference between, let me see if I can put this back in the genie bottle. There's a difference between losing weight and losing fat. And this is very important for all of us. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on, I'm going to eat this. Cannot let that go to waste. It literally tastes like an orange pixie stick. It's phenomenal. Yummy, yummy. When you lose weight, you could be losing impacted waist. You could be losing water. You could be losing muscle. You want to burn fat. You want to burn fat. Like, I can't tell you this enough. You want something that's going to target fat, like literally burn the inside of that fat cell that's in my brain, right? But that's what it's doing. It's a thermogenic. That's why you go 90 days, take a month off. Okay. I want you guys to hear me on that so that you can reset your body. But if you're going to burn fat and lose inches fast, you want to maintain your lean muscle mass. So even you saying that within that short period of time, you lost 75 pounds. Anytime you drop fast, like if you're on an injection or whatever, it's the muscle loss that you want to pay attention to. So even for myself, like last night, my husband and I went to the gym and I've just decided this is my year. I just turned 60. I'm going to really work on my muscle mass this year. And I'm going to make sure that I have stabilization of my muscles, right? And that I actually even build a little muscle. So I had shoulder surgery when I was 50 to repair a rotator cuff. And this gets tight on me, right? I do a lot of computer work. I'm on my phone. My shoulders are coming in more than they need to be, right? And so I need to go backwards. I need to be able to take and get my range of motion, and stretch. But then I also need to do things that can be resistance for my muscles, my shoulders, my pecs. Oopsie, sorry, I know that made noise. My pecs, my shoulder blades, etc. And then of course, my hamstring, my quads. I want to be working my quads. I want to be working my glutes, especially my quads and my glutes, because those are your biggest muscle groups. So the more muscle and resistance you can have, and I'm not talking about building muscle, we're done with that conversation. That's not, we're not talking about being bodybuilders, but the more that you can work on those large muscle groups, the more you can stabilize your blood sugar, the more that you can combat muscle loss and atrophy. And you want this. You've got to look at yourself 10 years from now. I need to be helping the person that you'll be in 20 years. That's what I'm doing. I'm helping your 20 year from now self. So however age you are right now, go 20 years. I want to help your person 20 years from today in 2025. Okay. So it is imperative. You've got to get rid of your visceral fat. You have to. You're going to get to enjoy a little gene size change too, or whatever. You're going to get to enjoy different things, looking better in your clothes and all those inches gone. You're going to enjoy all of that. But it's the visceral fat that is so dangerous. Get rid of it. This targets that. Okay. And then obviously the insulin resistance conversation. Well, I can have that all day, every day, because I know what it looks like when you don't take care of your insulin resistance. You might be, like my dad was dead at 63. He was in hospitals all the time. He was on medications. He literally didn't drive until about noon. And here he was in his 50s, but he owned businesses. Because all of his medication was competing with itself, including his insulin injections. He felt like crap. Then he did dialysis for 2 years and he puked every other day. I'm not interested in any of that. Does anybody want to be signed up for that? No, Nobody wants that. Sores that don't heal, constantly doing, Epsom salt baths on your feet. Like, his life was a mess. He just didn't even feel good to enjoy his life. That's stupid. But then the other piece was that my mom ended up with dementia because she ended up with type 2, and she should have never, ever, 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 ever been type 2. She didn't have any in her family. So this genetic conversation, poo-poo, throw it in the trash. This is a now conversation. There's a reason why we have such a high incidence of fatty liver, so high that it is in our children, and it's our food supply. This is why we will be very excited to see any changes that come from our government that actually protect our children and us from the toxins and the dyes and all of the issues, the chemicals and we've got to stop this insanity. We're literally really wreaking havoc. And then now we're on so many scripts, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Phyllis, the protein list. Go to Becky. Hi. Yes. Lift heavy things and put them down every day. That's what John Klusterman talked about in December. Lift heavy things every day and put them down. I think about that. You have to have resistance on your muscles for your bone density and for the stabilization of your blood sugar and keeping your lean muscles. You have to do it. The protein list, Phyllis, is on my site, which is my first last name.com. KirstenLiebelt.com. It's right at the top button. And then if you want to be extra today, if you want to get in a little secret, just kind of kidding, do one scroll up. And at the very bottom, get on my VIP first to know list for the magnesium that's launching in March. Everybody says, I want to sleep. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. Well, one of your pieces to sleeping better is magnesium glycinate. And this is a magnesium glycinate blend that's launching, and it's a marine sourced magnesium. Like, it is I have gone on a hunt trying to find decent magnesiums. And now I'm going to be able to give you one. I'm so happy. And you're going to want to consider doing, I have an ashwagandha that is whoop. Consider taking a little bit of a root, have a little bedtime routine with yourself. I sleep so good. I'm 60. I sleep so good. I take turmeric. This is John Klusterman's advice too. I take my turmeric, my ashwagandha, magnesium, and a vitamin C. And because my vitamin C is like time released over 8 hours. Most people don't have that, but mine is. And then my turmeric. So while I sleep, my inflammation is coming down because I take a very absorbable turmeric. Not all turmeric is absorbable. Most of it's not, actually. Sorry to tell you. This one is actually 45 times more absorbable than what's on the shelves. So you can actually feel a difference. So while I'm sleeping, the ashwagandha, which is good for sleep, stress, mood, I want all three taken care of. The magnesium, you just can't, there's not enough time to talk to you about magnesium. There's not enough time. You have over 300 functions in your body that need magnesium, and almost everybody is magnesium deficient. It's wreaking havoc. So just by taking magnesium, especially glycinate for women, helps your sleep. Okay, we'll get into that. I promise you. We'll do more magnesium stuff as it's getting ready to launch. And then the vitamin C, high antioxidant. So it's just cellular regeneration while you're sleeping. Just saying. It's good. It's so good. I don't know how I went down that path. Becky says, my dietitian also told me to take liver support at night. Oh, get out, because it does most of its work overnight. That is amazing, Becky. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be taking all my supplements at bedtime. That's crazy pants. Oh, the supplement to reverse muscles. Look up on my site. Type in lean muscle. Lean muscle. You actually take it 3 times a day, 2 at a time. And it does. It helps you to lose fat and maintain muscle. Lose fat, maintain muscle. Very helpful to be taking when you're taking a thermogenic, like the blood orange pixie stick. Let me know, Phyllis, if you find it, if you have a hard time not finding it. Want to make sure. Penny, thank you so much for Carol and Penny who come to my TikTok, and you guys get things out onto the FYP that way by tapping and tapping. I so appreciate you. This is such an important conversation for women. Like, you guys, we can age completely differently. We really can. We can be functioning at a higher level, and you just have to decide for yourself what is the most important piece for you. You need to sit down and actually ask yourself, why do you care? I know everything I don't want because it was exampled to me by my parents. So I'm not confused as to what I don't want. But then when I think about like my future, when I think about where I want to be in 5 years, with my health, with my finances, with my relationships, whatever, I have very specific thought processes, right? So my grandbabies are young. They are 3 and under. One will be turning 4 on Sunday. But I have grandbabies. And so for me, it's really important to be able to like have energy and mobility to get down on the floor. My parents were never able to be down on the floor with my kids ever like that. They just didn't do that. And it's not that they couldn't. I guess my dad could have. He did sleep on the family room floor a lot, but they just didn't. When you don't feel good, if you ache all the time, if you feel like just trash, it's really challenging to combat that and force yourself, right? So there are things that you can do, and that's what I'm here to help you do. But I will tell you that these 5 testimonies that I pulled out of my testimony, if you are looking for transformation for the spring or the summer, then these are the testimonies that you want to at least just know that they're true. These are the ones that are coming to me. So this is not like some corporate, they're putting out testimonies for their product, or you're going to a website and you're pulling testimonies off of Amazon. That's not what this is. These are you are my people giving me your testimonies. You are nice enough and kind enough to take the time to write out a testimony and to send it to me so that I can encourage other people. So if you missed the live, this replay will be on my Instagram and my Facebook and my YouTube, and you can go back and watch the replay so you can understand what is visceral fat, why is it so dangerous, how can you lose it, and if you want to speed that up, this is what I'm talking about today. It's an orange pixie stick. It's a thermogenic powder. I already took mine today, so I'm trying hard not to. It's just literally, it's like this. It tastes like candy. Okay. But let me read you you can't even see that it like matches my skin. That's hilarious. Well, there's no artificial nothing in there. So that's probably why they don't do artificial anything like that in their products. Diane, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Are you in Florida? Carrie and I are going to be in Clearwater for 3 days at the beginning of March. Anyway, okay, it's so good to see you. You just make me smile. Okay, so before I jump off, let me just give you these testimonies again so that you know, like TikTok, get into my inbox or jump over to IG and just put a fire emoji. I will know what that means. I will get you information on the Pixie Stick. Same thing with Instagram. Get into my inbox. If you leave a message here, I can't see it. You are in Florida. That's so exciting. It'll go away when the live goes away. But on Facebook, you can drop a fire emoji. You can get into my messenger. You can get into my inbox on IG. You can get into my inbox on TikTok. I just can't send you a clickable link. So we're going to have to like work on it from there. I'm going to say something like, do you want to meet up on Instagram or do you want to meet up like by text? We're going to have to like have a plan. But here are some testimonies. So be encouraged. Know that your spring can look different than what you were thinking. If you're like being hard on yourself and telling yourself you've never been able to get ready for, swimsuit season, whatever that means before, you can this year. 2025, this can be your year. I am mind blown by the results. I am like, this is the first time in 10 years since I started taking the trio that I've seen this kind of a breakthrough on actual body composition being able to change. So in 26 days of doing this once a day on her tongue, like this, 1 inch in her hips, her bust, her waist, and her ribs. November 16th, I received a message saying that since it launched in August, she lost 15 pounds. In 30 days, inch in multiple areas. And she said, I'm sold. Somebody else said, I'm having narrowing in her hips and her belly. That was me. No, that wasn't mine, but I resonate with that. And then Meg does is 3.5 inches from her bra line. This is 90 days now. Those were mostly 1 month. Now doing it, extrapolate that out 3 months in a row. And remember, everything has a 6-month guarantee. So you're still only halfway through your guarantee. Nobody else offers 6 months. Nobody else. I've got to do a puzzle thing on TikTok because they have to know I'm not a robot. Anyway, so you're only halfway through your 6-month guarantee. Don't forget this. Like nobody offers. You show me somebody who's offering you a 180-day guarantee. Let me know. Send it to me in my inbox. I'd love to hear that. 90 days, 3.5 inches off her bra line, 2 inches off her waist, 1 inch off her hips. And that is phenomenal. Now, this time I did 1 round. I didn't measure. It's okay. I do have some pictures. I'll see what I can figure out if I took the right pictures at the right time. But then I took a 30-day break and I'm doing it again. And I can already tell difference. And I started January 19th on round 2. So you can do 90 on and a month off and 90 on and a month off until you get to where you want to go. And then consider throwing in the lean muscle. It's a CLA product and that will help to maintain your lean muscle. Okay. So once you're on my site, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you can always reach out to me. I'm available on all of my platforms. And at 3:00 today, we're going to do the day 4 of the 5-day challenge. Hey, Julie, good to see you. Good to see you. Day 4 of the 5-day insulin resistant reset so that you can freaking lose weight challenge. That's not the official name, but it should be. That's what we're going to do 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do this every month so that you can feel like you actually have a blueprint that you can follow and get results. You want to feel like you have somebody in your corner. You have somebody in your back pocket to ask questions to. You don't want to just be like, sold a package with nobody to represent you. That doesn't feel good. You want to have understanding so that you can then have consistency and actually get results. This year, you want to do that. So flannel is awesome in February in Minnesota. It's actually, yes, it is. It's actually not as flannelly as I'd like it to be because we're going to get like a foot of snow, you guys, this weekend. If that pans out, which doesn't always happen, that's going to be the most snow we've had all winter. So I can't complain because it's been a good winter for no snow and no disruption, but oh my goodness. Yay, Phyllis, she found the list. Good. Patty says that her doctor told you to take vitamins at night too. Very good. Well, you know what? I'm kind of switching my stuff over. It's interesting to me. I take our premium vitamin line, it's a phytonutrient, a multimineral, and a multivitamin. And those 3 together are filling in such good nutritional deficiencies that I have a friend whose dad, he was for over 10 years having a hard time getting his sugars to come into check. And when he started taking that, it's a two dose a day situation. Like you're taking 3 pills one time and 3 pills another time because it's the multivitamin, multimineral, phytonutrient. And anyway, his A1C came into check for the first time in 4 months, and he went on to lose 50 pounds because he was filling in his nutritional deficiencies because you see insulin resistance creates leaky gut. And so you're spilling your nutrients. You don't want to do that. So that's what helped him. So one of my doses that I take, I am now taking at night because John had mentioned that. I think, and it wasn't from stage. It doesn't matter. We were chatting with him and he said, take that at night too. So it's funny because my husband used to do that. He still does it. But I mean, when he first started doing this years ago, my husband is in radio and he's always done the morning show or a lot. So he has to get up really early. So he would take his multivitamin, multimineral, phytonutrient, he would take that at night so that when he had his short night, he would wake up and it was working. And he'd wake up and he'd be like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like your whole body is like, I was working while you slept. Look at there. Cellular regeneration, getting your body strong while you're resting. It does make sense. So that's really cool. That's very, very cool. I love that. All right. Well, see, good information. You guys give me all the good information. I like that. All right. I'll see you today at 3. If you need anything, get into my inbox, drop a fire emoji. I'll get you the thermogenic fat burner. It's not a joke. It's not hype. It's not jazz hands. It's really happening. and might be something that you want to look into. May or may not be for you. You never know, right? All right. I can't get my thing to work. Okay. That's really funny. All right. Oh, well. All right. Have such a good day, you guys. So good to spend time. See you tomorrow at 11 a.m.